And welcome to another edition of the Entrepreneur Journey podcast. I am so pleased to have my guest, Sara Nakamura, with me today. Sara, how are you?
I'm doing great, Doug. Thank you so much for having me here.
Nice. You are a brand new friend to me. I'm very anxious to learn more about you, learn more about your story, your entrepreneur story. I don't know anything about that at this point. So it's exciting to me. I love to learn new stories. We're going to get into your expertise a little bit, but first, what I'd like you to do is kind of introduce yourself to the audience.
Well, hopefully we become fast friends, Doug. I've seen so much about you and how much you help entrepreneurs through their stuckness and being successful in their journey. So that's much appreciated. And a little bit about me is that I was climbing the corporate ladder. I was in that other world,
Can I
and
pause you just for a second?
of
I don't
course, of
want you to get
course,
into your whole story right now.
sure.
Let's save your story, but kind of just the surface level, who you are, who you serve, what you do. Then we'll kind of go into some getting to know you questions and your story. I don't want you to give it all away right now.
We'll give the little teaser first, right?
There we go.
And then we'll
Yes.
kind of go a little bit deeper as we go. So
Yes.
fantastic. So my name is Sara Nakamura, and my background is that I was born in the beautiful state of Hawaii, and I live
Mm,
in Las Vegas. So I'm in the 24-hour town that's a constant go, go, go. I wrote a book last year called Stressed Out and Don't Know What to Do. And I've been helping entrepreneurs as well as heart-centered business leaders to get out of their stress and be even more successful in their lives.
nice. Nice. I see the book behind you. I don't know an entrepreneur anywhere that can't relate to being stressed out at some point. I'm one of these people that it's hard to get me stressed out. I think I would have had a heart attack by now if I hadn't been that way. Um, you know, I always say I have joy in the struggle. So I think a lot of entrepreneurs would need your book though, because it's a common occurrence among entrepreneurs. So let's dive in, and I have some getting to know you questions that just kind of, not all business, right? Let's kind of get to know who Sara is, and then we'll dive into the business stuff. So tell us one thing on your bucket list that you're determined to check off this year.
Well, I love retreats. I love connecting to people in person. And so I want to create my own retreat. It's a relax and
Mm,
recharge retreat. So fill up your bucket, check some things off your bucket list. So let's do both.
nice, nice. So I heard you say just a minute ago that you are from Hawaii. Is that correct?
Correct.
So that'd be a
Yes.
great place to have a retreat.
Yes. Yes. Who wants to go to Hawaii?
My wife and I are actually going to Hawaii in July this year. It'll be my 50th birthday. Can you believe that? I'm going to be 50. It's going to be my 50th birthday. My daughter's graduating from high school, and we are going to Hawaii kind of to celebrate both of those things. So really, really cool.
I love that connection and that mix that you're able to celebrate her and celebrate you and do it together. So I love that. And happy early birthday.
Thank you. Thank you so much. My next question involves food. If you could eat only one type of cuisine for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I used to be in the food and beverage industry,
Mm,
so my palate is very, very wide. But to make it simple, I love sandwiches because you can make it any way you want to, and you don't get tired of it when you have different combinations.
that is a very good pick right there, because you could change it out. It's like interchangeable. You can have different toppings, different condiments. It can be new every day. That's really, really cool. Now let's switch kind of to music. What's your go-to song or artist when you need a mood boost?
So I'm going to go two ways on this one.
Okay.
All right, Doug. So when I want to be happier, when I'm just kind of in that like kind of mood, I'm going to go back to the 70s. I love ABBA, Dancing
Mm,
Queen, just dance it out. But if I need a little motivation and I need to switch that really quickly to get focused and just go, pour some sugar on me, Def Leppard.
wow, we're bringing back my childhood right there. A little Def Leppard. Yeah, they were one of my favorite bands growing up. My daughter, this is really interesting, is that she is an ABBA fan just because of the movie Mamma Mia. It's like her favorite movie of all time. So she fell in love with ABBA's music through that. And I can't tell you the amount of times they're like, you watching Mamma Mia again?
Isn't that great to bring things back around,
Yes.
I'm just curious to see what happens from our childhood and what's going to come back around, in so many ways. I mean, they're
Yep.
already rebooting so many movies, right? Top Gun and all of these other movies, they're coming back around.
Just goes to show you what the best generation for entertainment was, right? because they know they can't, that's the best. They're got to bring it back. They don't have anything better.
That's right. That's right. Gen X is where it's at, right?
That's right. That's right. That's right. Now for something that I ask every entrepreneur, it's our fill in the blank question. It changes. It's different for every entrepreneur. And your fill in the blank question is: entrepreneurship is the key to blank and blank.
Mm. So in entrepreneurship, it's, oh my goodness, it can be, like you said, there's a struggle sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally am a highly sensitive person. And so I've had to learn resilience.
Mm.
So for me, that failing and failing forward kind of a thing equals resilience to me. So for me, it's the key is resilience and fulfillment.
Ooh, nice. Yeah. Um, and sometimes you have to go through that struggle in order to feel fulfilled, right?
Right, exactly. I
Yeah.
know so many entrepreneurs, they're so successful, they made a lot of money, but then they're going, oh, I don't feel fulfilled. Like there's missing pieces in so many areas. So that's why I
Oh,
say fulfillment, fulfillment.
yeah. We could that could be a whole podcast in itself. The fulfillment, like it's the destination is not always what you think it is, right? It's in the journey. There, oh yeah, we could unpack that a lot, but
I see you going down a path, but yes, absolutely. There's so much to that, Doug.
yes. But now let's get into your actual story. I want to know kind of you just tell us what you want to tell us, whether you want to start at the very beginning, you want to start kind of in the middle, but tell us a little bit about your journey from like maybe where you began to where you are now.
Oh my goodness. And we have so much within our journeys, don't we? And to really just make that concise is that, stress is one of those factors that comes up for everybody. We think it's really normal and it's been normalized.
Mm,
And so I was going through stress in my life, and then it just kept popping up and reoccurring and reoccurring. And it showed up kind of in different ways, but the story was kind of similar. The underlying story was similar. And, whether you're coming from the corporate world or not, my journey happens to start there. And again, I was in food and beverage, I was in marketing, and we were opening up a Starbucks location. We were all exhausted, we're all burnt out, but we didn't know it because we didn't know really what that meant. Because,
mm,
when everybody's next to you that's doing the same exact thing, you're not any different. If you're drowning in the same pool,
mhm,
you're all drowning in the same pool. You don't know anything different.
mhm.
And that's what happened to me. And basically, what happened was I got a phone call one morning really early, and my dog died. And that was
Oh,
really the catalyst for me to go, wait, what? I knew she had cancer. I knew she was, struggling, and I knew I shouldn't have left that morning. But I
mm,
chose my work, my career over my family. And, my partner at the time was devastated. I was devastated. And, I really wanted to make a shift at that point. When I was going to my office every single day, I didn't realize that when I was just running my hands through my hair was falling out.
oh,
Again, thought that was normal.
mhm,
I was going to my office and having heart palpitations. I was having shortness of breath. Had no idea that was a panic attack.
mm,
So I went into the least stressful career I could think of as massage therapy. And so I started working on, okay, how do you relax? And that was great until I got back into that struggle again.
mm,
And, now how do I create my business? I don't know anything about business. And then I created another business where I did personal training and help people in their health, but then I was neglecting my own. So I went through that circle and cycle consistently. And we all have that, whether it's, a year apart, a month apart. But what I really realized was that this cycle, I really needed to break it. And so I couldn't find any solutions out there that really sustained myself. And so I started coming up with 2-minute techniques to help myself as well as
mm.
my clients. Fast forward 20 years later, I actually put into a book.
Nice, nice.
And that catalyst was the pandemic. A coworker and colleague of mine in massage therapy, she took her own life, left behind
Oh,
3 children, and I felt helpless. And I just said, Sarah, if there's any way I can help people online, if I can help people where I can't, be in person with them, let's do the book. Let's get it out there to the masses and help people. And I went on a book tour last year and it was amazing. So that's
nice,
where I'm at now.
nice. It is amazing to me the number of entrepreneurs that I talked to that the pandemic was a pivotal point for them. Whether it was they were already in business and they had to pivot a different way, um, or they were in a career and they pivoted to entrepreneurship because it just changed the paradigm in so many people's minds of what's important, of priorities, right? So. Really, really, really cool. Thanks for sharing your story. That was amazing. Now I want to dive into a little bit more of that expertise around stress management. And another question that we ask every entrepreneur, it's not always the same question, but is a secret question. So we want to know your secret. What is the secret to transforming stress into success and maintaining a positive mindset?
Ooh, let's get with some secrets here. There's so many things that we deal with these days. We just talked about how stress affects so much of your life. And I put together a little acronym. Stress affects your career, your finances, your relationships, your emotional state, your spirituality, as well as your health. So it's C fresh. So any six of those
Mm,
areas of your life, it gets affected by stress. And so I created in page 25 of my book, Stressed Out and Don't Know What to Do, I created a stress cycle. And it shows you a simple way to break it and to understand it. So here's the secret though, Doug. And let's just dive a little bit into the stress cycle. Stress can come from the inside, negative thoughts, negative emotions. They can come from the outside, somebody telling
mhm,
you over and over, you can't do it. Who do you think you are? Right? So, but if we break it from the inside or the outside at any given point, whether it be in your body, your emotional state, your actions, or your thoughts, we have to work on your triggers. So the
mm,
secret is your trigger. And here's the thing, so many people have it flipped upside down. We try and attack the behaviors first. Oh, change a habit here,
mm.
do this differently, right? And then we go, okay, change your mindset, change your beliefs. But here's what I'm going to tell you the secret is. Start with your body.
Wow.
Start with your body because everybody talks and everybody talks. Your body is telling you what it needs. Your body is telling you when it's out of sorts. Your body's telling you when there's something wrong. And are you listening? So
Mm.
that's the secret, Doug. Listen to your body, and we help you to interpret what's going on for yourself.
Wow. I want to dive into that just a little, I'll back up a little bit into what you're talking about and from the outside stress and from the inside stress. From an entrepreneur's perspective, we put a lot of self-inflicted stress on ourselves, right? Because there's thing everybody hears about called imposter syndrome, right? Where we're comparing ourselves to other entrepreneurs that may have been on the journey much further than we have, or maybe had resources that we didn't have available to us, and we tend to inflict this stress on us of, oh, why am I not there yet, right? Because we don't. That's why I love the entrepreneur journeys, because it shares everybody's journey, and everybody is on the journey at some point, right? And they may, and that helps the person either behind or the person that is even ahead can look back on that person's story and say, I remember when I was there, or that's where I want to go with. But let's not put so much weight on ourselves, right? So
Yes, absolutely. And we absolutely do that to ourselves. And sometimes we think it's other people putting
mm,
that heaviness upon us. But like you said, Doug, it really does a lot of times, many times come from us. And it's not your fault that you feel that way. It's not your fault that you act that way because we were taught when we were younger that, be successful and uh, get a great job. You can do that.
hmm,
But then along the way, we hear, but you have to go to school. You have to do it this way. You have to do it that way. And if we don't follow that path, then we feel like a failure. We feel like we're unsuccessful. And I love where you talk about this journey because, you know, my partner Rachel and I have been in the wellness industry for collectively 40 years. And when we do massage therapy, we've worked with tens of thousands of clients. And, when we really get down to the root of their stress, they are super successful in their business. They're super successful in other areas of their lives. But when you start getting down to what's really going on for them, there's some place in their life that they're unfulfilled. And
hmm,
they'll usually tell us about that, what that is. But that's not what people see on the surface because we don't want to expose ourselves and go, hey, you know what? Here's where I'm really falling down. My relationship really sucks right now, but I'm making millions of dollars. We don't speak like that.
right.
And we weren't taught to. We were taught in grade school how to tie our shoe, but we weren't taught to tie in self-care. And
Mm,
so that's just a really pivotal thing in this journey that we have. And I'm glad that you get to, help people expose that to make these conversations more normalized because
mhm,
we all have a place where we fail. We've all had a place where we need to begin. And even if we become successful in one area, then, what's that next? And then we're going to
mhm.
start over in a different way to that next new level. So absolutely.
Yeah, and be careful of what you're sacrificing on your way to what you believe you want, because you may get there and find that it's not worth wasn't worth the sacrifice, right? So, again, we could dive real deep on that too, but I'm going to proceed to my next question. Can you share some insights on the stress cycle, how understanding it can help manage stress effectively?
Oh, certainly. And again, just a little bit about the stress cycle. There's so many ways to tackle stress. And, if you hear any entrepreneur or any ad, they'll say, a stress-free way to do this or that, right? Because it's everywhere. It's
Hmm.
normalized again. And and so going back to the cycle, I've made it very simple. It's a little circle with, again, beat your body, your emotions, your actions, and your thoughts.
Mm,
And when we go in alignment with all of that, we get to get out of that cycle. We get to break it. We get to go into a place where we're in alignment. But when we're in a bad place, when we're unresourceful, when it's not working, we have to really tackle what's happening in our bodies and how is that affecting our thoughts, our emotions, our feelings? How is it affecting our actions? Because, Doug, when you're hangry, you're not making the best choices, are you?
no, no. Or when I haven't had enough of the Java juice.
Exactly, exactly. So when we go to the basics, when we go to effective hydration, when we go to effective amount of relaxation and recharging, then we can break that cycle. But here's the thing too, is that these days we're in the fight or flight response consistently. We're always going and we're always comparing to the next, like you just said. And because we're in that state, that's our new normal. So when we wake up in the morning, we're already elevated. We're already in a
Mhm,
state of stress.
mhm.
And it's affecting, you get out of bed and you go, oh, I don't want to get out of bed. Can I hit snooze? Right. And even people that are morning people that jump out of bed and like, I'm excited, where is their stress coming from? Right. So what's that next layer deeper? So again, breaking it from wherever that stuck point is, and then seeing where the trigger is, and then replacing that, um, just that little trigger that helps you get past the stuckness that you have in your life right now. So
Yeah,
that's how to break this cycle in a really easy way, right?
nice.
But we can dive down deeper into certain scenarios and how all of those things really affect your entire life.
Let's talk about. I think you mentioned a word in there, recharge, right? Um, Entrepreneurs are always in. We do this again, self-inflicted overwhelm, right? Because we tend to take on more than we can handle. Um, some of us are better at delegating than others. Some of us are better at building teams than others. Some of us want to just hold on to things, and that's not healthy, right? So I often think that sometimes you have to step back from your business, no matter how, like, there's that thing is always going to be there. The thing that you have to do is always going to be there. So you have to step back from your business and recharge, right? Don't look at it from so deep inside. Step back, look at your business from an like rest and recharge, and look at your business from a higher level, and then you can plug back in and be much more effective. Well, I just would love your thoughts on that as well.
Absolutely. And you're absolutely right. So when we rest and recharge, we're more productive, we get more things done, we're more successful in the things we want. So let's take that step back, like you're saying. So when you take a step back from your business or even your life, right, you see a lot more from that perspective because we're so narrowed in so many times in
Hmm.
our lives. And like, I have to get this project done, I have to get more sales, whatever that is. But when we take that step back, we have to go from the state of fight or flight
Hmm.
into rest and digest.
Mm.
So our body wants to go into homeostasis. That's the way that our body heals itself. Okay.
Hmm.
And so translate that to your business. How do you heal your business? So what we do is we go from, okay, what are the stressors? What is that fight or flight? What are we constantly doing? Bring that down a notch. How do I relax in my business? What am I in business for? What am I doing? Who am I serving? Those basic things. And then you go, okay, where's that missing piece? And then when you can start to see that and start to kind of relax into it, what happens? Your body starts functioning better, your business starts functioning better because you don't have such a grip on it,
Hmm.
right? So when we let go of that grip, we can open our hand, we can go, here it is. And that's a simplified version of it, Doug, but that's really what it is. We can lessen that grip because it's so exhausting to kind of hold on and clench that fist all the time.
Yep.
And it's not just, take a break from your business. It's not just like, oh, let it go, let's take a nap. It's not that simple,
Right.
but it's simple in the sense that let's take a step back. Let's see what's really happening. Where are the things that I can delegate? Where are the things that I don't have to do anymore? I'm
Hmm.
already successful in my business. I'm already doing these things. And maybe it's that pivot.
Hmm.
Maybe there's something more specific that you can help your clients with that can elevate your ticket sales or
Hmm.
whatever you're doing to help them with being the best version of themselves too.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. Thank you. Thank you for expanding on what I was saying. My next question is, how do your 2-minute stress relief techniques help heart-centered leaders overcome exhaustion and burnout? Every entrepreneur has exhaustion or burnout at some point.
Exactly. Have a plan in place. If you
Nice.
have a plan in place, I mean, you can't, really think of every single scenario that's going to happen in your life. You'll get overwhelmed just in that.
Hmm.
And that'll stress you out and it makes you more anxious. But if you know that you're going back to back meetings, you know that you've got, if it's a sales meeting or, you're fulfilling for your clients, have the plan in place of have your water handy, have a snack next to you, know when you're going to have a bathroom break. Those kinds of things have those, this is the simple version. And we go really deep into really what you can do. But, for our purposes here, have those simple things available and ready to you. And as far as a 2-minute technique is concerned, one of the things that you experience, and I'm sure everyone else watching out there, you're talking so much,
Mm.
and what happens is you start getting fatigued, you start getting tired. Your body's like at the end of the day, you're almost on the floor, and you're trying to sit back up and have a really good way to communicate with somebody, but you're not feeling it.
Mhm.
So one way to relieve the stress and tension in your jaw, take 2 fingers, put it on the biggest part of your jaw right here. It's your masseter muscle, the strongest muscle in your body. Why? One, it's because we're chewing and we're eating food, caveman style, but also it helps us to communicate. So if you do little circles on your masseter muscle, it helps with a trigger point that you have, and it helps release that muscle there. So when you start to feel that fatigue and just a few seconds doing it, you're able to speak a little bit better. You can stand up, have a little bit better posture. You can sit back a little bit more. And here's the thing, you start getting back in your body, because if you're not in
Mm.
your body, you're thinking about, oh, the regretful past or
Mhm.
the anxious future. It helps
Mm.
you get present in your body. Second of all, another little quick, easy tool. These aren't even 2-minute techniques. They're less than 2 minutes. It's super simple and easy.
Nice.
So just take a little soft fist on the knuckle part, put it on the center of your chest. This is a grounding point. So whenever you start feeling anxious, your Zoom link isn't working, like like we just had.
Yep.
You go, okay, and you just take a few breaths. So if you have a dog, if you have any other animal, how you kind of pet their chest a little
Mm.
bit and they start to calm down? It's the same with us.
Mm.
And we don't realize it, but it's a really simple and quick, easy technique. And even if you're just doing this, people aren't going to think you're weird.
Right. Nice. Nice. Um, Next question. What are some simple yet powerful ways for individuals to integrate work and life, reducing stress, and finding more ease in their daily routines?
Besides getting my book, stressed out and don't know what to do.
So that's one way. That's step one. And then next step is read the book.
That's right. That's right. 3, implement the book, you know. Of course, those are great steps that we need to go through in
Yes.
life with anything. We take on so much information, and sometimes we think that we need to learn, 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 learn. And as entrepreneurs, you go, just do a trial by fire and see how it happens, and then go from there, right? So that's the implementation.
Hmm.
But also make it easy for yourself. And I think a lot of times what happens is we try and do something in someone else's vision and someone else's mold and
Hmm.
someone else's way of doing things, and we get, the neural pathways to go down one road because we see someone else that's successful. But create your own road. What works for you? And that's what will put you at ease, that alignment, that work-life integration. Because if you're over here talking about, I don't know, give me a business, but if you're talking about sales, like you're in,
Mm-hmm.
if you're talking about sales, but you're over here, in your personal life, and you're like, I hate selling, I can't do this, or, I'm great at selling, but this isn't me anymore. If you're not in alignment with that, it's going to be a difficult struggle for you. So find a way to go, okay, where's where what is excuse me what's lighting me up to
Mm-hmm.
do with sales? What's lighting me up on, when I get to have a sale? How does it affect my home life? How does it
Mm-hmm.
affect my family? Because if you're doing two different things, you're in a struggle and you're exhausting yourself either at home or in your business, and you're depleted. And so that's not making your life easy. So again, create that alignment for yourself.
I'm going to dive into this just for a minute because I find it fascinating because you're not saying avoid it, right? Because we should go into things as entrepreneurs. We're called actually to go into things that make us uncomfortable, but find the way to. So what you're saying is align it with um, how you would operate in that
Mhm.
area, and you feel much better doing it, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And also, I was taught, and I'm sure many of you guys were taught that you know, you shouldn't say those things,
Mm,
don't say that in public, stuff down your emotions in any sort of
mm,
way. And that's what a lot of us do. So we pent up that emotion, whether it be anger, resentment, and any other negativity, sadness, and it stores in our body. And if we don't release it, then it just sticks there and again creates that stress cycle over and over and over. So we also need to release the things that are going on in our body. And I heard you say you love golf, right?
I
You're a
do, I
golfer.
do. Yes, yes. I love hitting the ball into the woods and into the pond. I don't love doing that, but that's what I do. I like being outside and hitting the ball, even though it doesn't go
Yeah.
where I like it to go.
But that's the thing. So, are you golfing to be competitive? No, you're golfing to fill up your cup. And
Hmm.
that's what we need to do also. And here's the thing, when you're hitting a golf ball, I used to I used to work for a golf course. And Tiger Woods' coach was our resident coach,
Nice.
Butch Herman. And, so I learned a lot about golf from watching them.
Hmm.
And I was very fortunate in that. But here's the thing is that, golf can be a very frustrating and difficult sport. And, you shank a shot, you miss a putt, you do all those things, you hit it into the woods.
Yeah.
But there's times where you hit that sweet spot and that ball just goes flying, or you
Hmm.
sink that putt and you go, ah, that's what I'm doing this for. That
Hmm.
exhilaration, that satisfaction. But you're also at the same time getting rid of that frustration, getting rid of, all the negativity that's going on for you. And that's kind of surface level stress.
Hmm.
That's not the deep rooted stuff that we help, guide our clients through. But it's all similar because that's going to get you through the day. It's going to get you through the week. It's going to help you to get to that next new for you. So that's why I love golf too. But but I knew you
Nice,
were a golfer,
nice.
so
Yes, yes. I don't get to play as much as I want to, and that's something on my bucket list is to play more golf. It's because I love it. Well, thank you. So I could this subject just fascinates me so much, and I could ask a ton more questions, and there's like three other questions coming up in my mind. But I feel like we could go for hours. So I'm gonna ask one more question. Well, actually, two more questions because I always end with a question. But my next question is, good stress, bad stress. Do you have ideas? Do you believe there is such thing as good stress?
absolutely.
Oh, good.
Absolutely. And I think everything is what we make it though too.
Hmm.
So, if we use that bad stress and we go, this is bad, this is not serving me, this sucks, it hurts my career, it hurts my relationships, hurts all these different things. It's not just making it positive. That's toxic positivity, right? We don't
Hmm.
want to go there. But what can we learn from the bad situation? What can we learn from the bad things we're doing? What can we learn from the bad habits? Whether it be yours or someone, that you've taken on their bad habits or, bad stressful situation. You know, it's to me, it's always a learning process. So if you learn something out of it, if we learn from our failures, we learn from you know, my dog dying, if we learn from
Hmm.
my friend, dying, if we learn from that bad stress, and utilize it and figure out what that means for us. And it's not just, hey, that's bad, so it motivates me.
Hmm.
Because that happens a lot too. I hear that a lot, especially from, really strong men. And that's okay. If that's the way you want to interpret it and use it for fuel to do something more productive, great. But it's when they use it to do something else that's not productive and they go, oh, but it drives me. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, how many origin stories have come from an entrepreneur where they were in a stressful situation that they just didn't, they wanted to change the situation, or change, they wanted to create a product that relieved their, not only their stress, but the stress of the people that they'd be creating it for, right? So to me, that's like a vision of good stress. You're in a situation and you're like, this stresses me out. I don't want to be stressed out by it anymore. So let me find the solution. And not only will I find the solution for myself, I'll find the solution for others. Boom, an entrepreneur is born. Right.
Right. Yeah. And that does happen, and that's fantastic because we have a lot of great products and a lot of great services because of it. But what happens a lot of times that we don't hear about because people don't, again, really want to talk about it necessarily is that that stress becomes a breakdown.
Hmm.
And that becomes the burnout. It becomes something that stops you from doing what you
Hmm.
really want to do or stops you from being great. And so we do a lot of times have a breakdown before we have a breakthrough.
Mm.
And
Hmm.
so, if you're in that breakdown place or you're nearly in that burnout place, that's where we can help. That's where we can help is to go, okay, instead of having a breakdown, let's help you have a breakthrough. If you're starting to break down, let's break through quicker and faster. Let's get you back to where you need to be or where you want to be in your life, in your business.
Yeah, I love that you put that on there too, because I don't want to cast such a positive light. There are plenty of entrepreneurs that have stopped right there because they couldn't do it, because they didn't have a way to get past it. And you can help them provide to get a way past it so they can do what they were called to do. Right. So thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you, Sarah, so much. This has been a really eye-opening interview for the audience, I'm sure, but definitely eye-opening for me. I love how you help people manage their stress, especially entrepreneurs, because we're all stressed out at some point, some on a daily basis. So where can people find out more about you? Where can they get your book? What links can I provide for them?
Well, again, you can get my book, Stressed Out and Don't Know What to Do. It's on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. And I want to give your audience a free gift.
Nice.
I love sharing tools, techniques, but I have an amazing morning, and it's at free gift from Sara, SARA.com, freegiftfromsara.com.
Okay.
And it really gives you some tools and techniques in a way that you can have an amazing morning without changing too much of your routine. You just add a couple techniques throughout your morning that will help you win the day. And then that will connect you to our community. We're so excited because we have a brand new community of Everybody Talks, because everybody
Nice.
talks. So it helps you get connected to your body and what's going on for it. But also, Doug, I have a heart project that's connected to this. When I came back from Hawaii just a few months ago, unfortunately, my friend, who I've been a massage therapist with, I've done a lot of neurolinguistic programming. We did a lot of our training together. She unfortunately had a bad situation. Her and her husband died
Mm.
and left three children behind. And her book was about to be published. So I'm taking on publishing her book for her.
Mm.
And we're going to teach the book. It's about self-awareness and communication. So if you join our community, freegiftfromsara.com, I'm also going to teach that for free. I'm going to
Nice.
help people to see where their awareness is and help them communicate. And if you want to buy the book, that's great. All the proceeds, 100% of that is going to go to her children and to help create her legacy to help her children. The oldest one is 13. So, yeah.
Wow. I'm so happy that you're doing that. We could again go on to the heart led thing and giving back as we grow. Thank you so much for who you are and what you do. It has been a pleasure. I have one last question that I ask every entrepreneur, and it is just free form. What parting words of wisdom do you have for the entrepreneurs that may be listening or watching?
I think words of wisdom are everything comes from within you. So um, we help you guide you through stressful situations to help you to be more successful. So I think everything you need is already inside you, Wayne Dyer.
Yep, yep, very true, very true. All right, well, again, thank you so much, Sarah, and thank you, audience. And until next time, keep moving forward.